let's get right into the projects I hope to work on this month of December. Hello, my name is Emily Crow from Crochet Creations and welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to Vlogmas. I'm doing it a little different this year. I'm not going to do a vlog every day because I am working full-time as a nurse. So there are some days when all I do is wake up at 5 in the morning and go to work and then come home and then go to bed. I figured you didn't want to see that. So we're gonna do 12 days of Vlogmas, 12 days of curated content for you that I think would be really fun for you to watch this holiday season, no matter what holiday you are celebrating. I celebrate Christmas in my family and we're excited. We're looking forward to it. This is our first Christmas that we are actually decorating. We know we're gonna be home in our house. We are really embracing the season. So I'm really excited. Today, I am going to be talking with you about all the things I want to work on in the month of December. So I said work on because ideally it'd be amazing if I finished all of these projects, but I also know that is not happening. I'm not expecting to finish all of these things, though ideally it would be amazing if I finished all of these projects. I've kind of broken it up into a few different sections. I've got a section of projects I'm currently working on. It would be awesome to finish these lingering whips to be able to start fresh in the new year. So I have a handful of things like that I want to work on. I also have some projects that are specific for this time of year, this season, maybe for Christmas specifically, things that I want to have, and it would be amazing if I finished them before December 25th is really the goal, but by the end of the year would be awesome. So that's another set of projects. I've got a couple items that I've already finished, but I want to tweak them and I just have not gotten around to them. I really want to make myself just finish these projects. It won't take very long to just set aside the time to add length or fix the ribbing on the bottom if it's not quite fitting my liking. So I feel like that's not too much to ask of myself, to just finish these finished objects that just need a little bit of tweaking to make them even better and something that I'll wear as the weather's cold. It's 2 sweaters, so I really do want to finish these 2 sweaters and make them wearable, that I'll enjoy them this season. I also am going to share with you a couple projects that are related to my Advents. I was thinking I would do a separate Advent video, but I also don't want to have too many spoilers for the Advents. I think I'm going to do a spoiler Advent video at the very end to kind of show this is everything I got in my Advents. This is what it looks like. I think I'll do that for a vlog, but today I'm going to talk about this is the Advent I got and this is what I plan to make with it. And by this is the Advent I got, I mean, I'm going to show the packaging. I'm going to show the box that it came in. I'm not going to show any of the content inside. I do have one Advent project I've already started just to kind of stagger my Advent opening and to help with Vlogmas video production, because again, I am working full-time right now. So I do have that project, but I'll show it to you in black and white so you can see kind of what my vision looks like. So let's get right into the projects I hope to work on this month of December. The first project, I'm actually really close on this. I don't think I'll finish it by the end of November, but I think I could easily finish it towards the beginning of December. I am working on a Maven top. Ta-da! This is using Teeny Button yarn in the color Wednesday in a Cafe. It's Taylor Swift inspired. This pattern is the Maven top by Rachel Ramo. I'm not sure exactly how that's pronounced. And I think I'm working on the 3rd size, maybe? I think the bust circumference is supposed to be like 40 inches. So it's got quite a bit of ease for me, but it's a better fit than the 2nd size, which would have been really like a tight fit on me and not exactly the ease I was going for. And I'm almost done. I just finished the sleeves the other night. They're curling a little bit. They've got a little I-cord bind off. I think that just blocking will really help those lay flat. And I actually am just about done technically with the pattern as it's written. I think I may have like one more section, or I may be finishing the section and then the ribbing technically, but it's supposed to be cropped. Don't really want it cropped. I'm also a longer torsoed person, and so I always add length to all of my tops and all of my sweaters. Even if I need it to hit the same cropped spot as it is on the designer or the model, I still need to add length usually. So I need to try this on pretty soon. Maybe I'll do like 1 or 2 more sections, probably just 1 more section of this like repeating like stockinette and purl bump situation. and then block it, try it on, see how I like it, see how much more length I want to add before the ribbing, but I'm getting pretty close. It's just right now, it's too short on me. So just gotta add length. The next project I would love to finish is my Contrast Blast socks by Stephen West. I participated in this knit along, but I only made one sock during the knit along. And I have 2 vlogs, a part 1 and a part 2 for those clues that you can watch on my channel. I'll make sure to link them down below and up above for you. But I really need to finish the second sock. It'd be great if I could just finish. This is what the first sock looks like. I don't think I've blocked it. I can't remember. I feel like I need to block it still. It is a little bit ripply, but look at that crazy texture. So I would love to have a finished pair of socks because these are color work the whole way through. They're pretty cozy and they're also a little bit bigger and slouchier on me. And so I think they'll be perfect for the winter time. I used Woolberry Fiber Co. in the colors, I think this one's Flower Crown and this one's Raspberry Cordial. I think I remember that correctly. I am using Flexi Flips for this project and I am almost done with the leg. So I have a ways to go still, but like I got a good chunk of it done from this little dinosaur marker just like one evening working on it a little bit. So I just need to sit down and make it happen. Be great to finish off that lingering whip because that's from July. Can you tell I was working on too many projects in July, specifically too many sock projects because I jumped around and I left a lot of unfinished things. This is another half-finished object. These are the Vortex socks. I tested this pattern for Carrie Cogan Brown and the texture is really fun to look at. The thing that made this sock not as much of a joy to work on is the way that my colors were pooling together. I ended up alternating my skein of yarn every other round, and so that was a little bit tedious. So I didn't want to work on this anymore after I finished my test knitting obligation, but I really need to, I don't know if I've even cast on the second. I haven't even cast on the second sock. So I just need to work on this. Cast on the sock. It's not a hard texture to do. It was really just a pain in the butt to alternate my yarn every round in order to help with the color blocking. I mean, it didn't entirely fix it, but there's only so much you can do. This yarn is beautiful. It's by the Backcountry Knitter, and the colorway is called, I grabbed the one for the mini, it's called Dragon Fruit. Oh yes, the big one is called Watermelon Soiree, and it is, I think it was a local yarn store day colorway for the shop Seed Stitch up in Bountiful, Utah. Beautiful colors, really bright and fun. It was perfect for the summer. I just put it down and I would love to just have it off my plate. That would feel really good. Okay, so this is a funny one. Another sock that I started in July. The July Socks by Laura Moratz. I think I worked on it in one sitting, maybe 2, and that's it. I got through 1 repeat of the lace. That's all I did. This is Explore Knits and Fibers. The colorways are Moonshine, and then that one is, I don't know, does it say it on here? Untamed is this beautiful like mauvey rosy pink color. I had a vision for this yarn for a long time and I finally cast it on after like years of not, and then I didn't even work on it in July. So maybe they'll be ready by next July, but it'd be great to just work on this. Knitting lace is really fun, and so I just need to get back into it. My final project that I've started that it'd be awesome if I finished is actually a sock tube that, ta-da, I've been working on for a really long time. I cast it on, I think, was it last year? I don't even remember because I bought this yarn when I visited my in-laws in Utah and we weren't living here yet. Yeah, because I remember working on it when we went to like Zion's, which was not this previous summer, but last summer. So it's like a 1.5 years old. It's a long whip. I didn't need to finish it last year. It's just something to work on. And honestly, I went and saw the Hunger Games movie, the new one. I literally doubled the length. I knit from this pink marker all the way up here. I literally doubled the length of it. So in just a couple hours, I made some great progress. I did have a couple mistakes that I had to like drop down and fix, but it was only really a couple. And usually I felt that I was knitting incorrectly like splitting a stitch while I was doing it, and so I could kind of like back up and like work at it and fix it in the moment. So I only had like 2 or 3 mistakes in all of those stitches. So you can tell I put this down and there's like a little kink here in the tension, but then it worked itself out as I was knitting more and more and kind of getting in the groove of it. I have a plan, kind of. So this yarn is also from the Backcountry Knitter, and I love the feel of this base. It's so soft and squishy, but the color is Texas Sky and Robin Eggs. I already have a separate cuff knit up so that when I'm done knitting my tube as long as I want, I can graft the cuff and my tube together so that they match. And just like a sock tube, I'm gonna cut into it, add the toes and heels in this color. So that's the idea. I think I estimated that I want about 100 rounds total for the leg and the foot, besides the toe and the heel. And so I can't remember where that was. Let's see, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. The red marker is the halfway point of this whole sock tube. So I've gotten about 25-ish rounds in since then. So I have like maybe 75 rounds to go. And then I can actually like work on assembling things and like cutting in heels and toes and stuff. So this wouldn't take too long to work on. Maybe like 1 or 2 more movies and I would basically be done. Maybe. Let's round up to 3 movies. If I watch 3 Christmas movies and only work on this during the movies, I could finish it in 3 movies, I think. This is, again, not a priority. It's way down on the list, but it is still a project I have in my queue. It's still a project I've worked on, and so if I put in some more time on this, it would feel really good, and it'd be awesome to be able to finish this project too. So those are the projects that I have already started that it would be awesome to finish it, to get it off my plate, to be able to start some new fresh projects as we turn into the new year. I do have a couple projects that I want to fix that have some issues, and I mentioned them previously in my podcast. So if you are a diligent watcher, you might recognize these, and you might have been thinking, I haven't seen Emily fix those sweaters yet. I'm really going to try to make myself fix them this month, because they really wouldn't take that much effort. This one will be the easier one of the 2. This is my oat sweater. I used teeny button yarn. The color is Bartok. Yeah, I remembered. I love this cute little lace detail on the sleeve, how it kind of fades to be more lacy. It's a 3/4 length sleeve. It's a pretty high neckline, but it's a pretty simple knit. I alternate skeins, and you can tell by the tonality of the yarn that that was probably a good choice, but it's a little too short on me. I thought I was done, so I like bound it off and everything. I think I've blocked it also. I'm trying to smell if I had wool wash on it, and it's just too short. It needs some more length. I have 2 more skeins of yarn. I wound up one already. It's like ready to go. Basically, I need to do sweater surgery and just like cut right before the ribbing, insert my needles, knit a bit longer, and then graft things to get back together. I'm hoping that it won't be super noticeable that I do that. I might alternate the different sides of my skein every round to kind of blend it together a little bit more, but I also feel like maybe I'll just go for it and see if the color pooling is bad or the coloring is too distinct for that section I add on. Hoping that it'll just be fine the way it is. And I really need to try it on again, figure out exactly how much longer I want it, and then just do the sweater surgery, and then it'll be super easy to fix. The oat sweater. That's by This Bird Knits. And this pattern, this one is the Split Decision Pullover. I know I have better pictures of this one, but what really drew me to this is by Tiff Nealon. I tested this pattern for her. I really thought that the asymmetrical collar was a really cool idea. And I did these like fold over cuffs as written in the pattern. I don't know how keen I am on these cuffs. Someone told me I could maybe like tack them down. They would look a little bit nicer. I am not sure. I still am not quite sure how I feel about those. The real reason why I haven't wanted to wear this is because there's this cool like herringbone stitch on the bottom, but you can see there's like this big gap, divot. It's because of how I'm shaped. I'm smaller on top than I am around my belly and my hips. And so the size that I chose fits my bust and like upper shoulders and part really well, but it's a little bit, I wouldn't even say tight, but it's like more form-fitting on my belly and my hips. And so I don't really like how that looks. I feel like it accentuates a part of me that I don't want to draw attention to per se. And that's just me and my own self-esteem issues at play. You can wear whatever size and shape you want for your body. But I really think that I'd be happier with this if I cut off this hem and I redid it in an even larger needle size to make it a little bit looser, so that I feel like it'll hang a little bit looser and not like be as form-fitting to my body, is kind of my thought. I figured it was worth a try because you can see it kind of like bends in a little bit. So that will take more work because the herringbone stitch was like a new technique and I'd definitely have to do some review to do that. But I would not be keeping this. I'd literally just chop off the end and start fresh, or unravel it and start fresh. So the starting would be not as hard, but the actual doing it would be a little bit trickier. So both of my sweater patterns, I've just been stalled out on fixing, even though I know exactly what to do about it, because one of them's a little bit trickier to start, one of them's a little bit trickier to do. So I should just make myself do them. Those are the two projects I want to fix. Let's move into the projects I want to make for this December holiday winter season. That would be awesome if I finished them by Christmas, or at the very least by the end of the year. This one I actually didn't put on my list because it is a sewing project, a quilting project specifically. I bought this fabric a couple months ago, I feel like. I found this quilting pattern that made me think of my daughter. It's called Dino Roar. It's got these cute little dinos. It's a pretty beginner friendly pattern, though I've done some sewing in the past, so I'm not a super beginner, but this would be my first quilt, and I didn't want to make something lame. I've never been one to want to do like your first project is something lame just to try it. Like I'd rather do something really fun that I'm excited about and learn and struggle and make mistakes through the process. This is super cute. I have all the fabric. I went and bought it like that same day that I found that pattern. I went to a local quilting store near me. This is like the main like background color I'm going to use, the back of the quilt. And I have like this green and this like peachy flowery color as like the edging on it and border and stuff. And then for all of the different dinos, I've got this range of like peaches and creams and like fuchsia-y colors. So I'm really excited about this, to make this for my daughter. I really don't know how likely it is that I'll actually finish it for Christmas, but that would be amazing if I did that. So that would be awesome to work on. And the thing about sewing is it takes less time to make a project of that size than it does to knit it or to crochet it. So I think I just need to get started, and then I can get a better idea on like how much time I need to spend working on that as like a Christmas gift. But of course my daughter doesn't know about it, so I could take as long as I want. But I'm really excited about that. It would be so fun to be able to work on that for her. So that is a big goal of mine. Back to knitting. Here's one project that I don't have the yarn for yet, and so I'm not super invested in finishing it by Christmas Eve. But the past couple years I made Christmas Eve socks for my family, and last year I had a couple skeins of yarn that I used to make coordinated socks. We kind of ran out of time. It's fine. They're all finished now. We all have our coordinating socks. And I realized that with my daughter's feet getting big enough, even though my husband really likes ankle socks, I just couldn't do 3 pairs of socks with just 2 skeins of yarn. So I was prepared. I bought some yarn from Witchfire Fibers for their holiday collection. I bought actually quite a bit of yarn. I was very excited about this collection, and I was really excited to be able to support her. And I bought some yarn so that I can make us all matching socks. And I can't even remember the color. I'll pop it up here. I'll pop a picture up. but I thought this would be perfect. I checked it with my husband. He said he liked it. I don't even know what pattern I'm going to do. Something with a pretty subtle texture because I feel like the yarn really shines here, but I don't know when that yarn's coming. And because I placed kind of a larger order, I have to wait till all my yarn is ready before it'll get shipped to me. I'm pretty sure it'll get shipped before Christmas, but I just don't know if I'll have time to make 3 pairs of socks by the time it shows up. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like a tentative. It'd be great if I finish, but I am just excited to get that yarn. So we'll see when it comes. Maybe I'll try to do like a knitting sprint type of vlog where I try to work through them as fast as I can on a couple of my days off. One sock pattern that I know I want to work on this month is my Desert Vista Dyework socks for December. I have the DK weight of this skein. It's the Holiday Stripe Thin Skein. Perfect holiday socks. And something I want to do, you'll see a vlog for Vlogmas about this. I want to do a pair of DK weight socks in a day. I tried this last year for the autumnal equinox. I got the autumn equinox box from Dying Wishes Yarn Co. And I tried in a day to knit a pair of DK weight socks. You'll have to see that video to see how far I made it, but I was not entirely successful. And part of it was because I had other things I had to do that day too. But this year, I'm going to clear my schedule. The entire day will be knitting, watching movies, watching YouTube, just getting it done. So that's my goal. But we'll see if I can knit a pair of DK weight socks within a day. And I'm excited to try the challenge again and see how it goes. This is going to be my 12th DVD project this year to finish out the monthly sock club so I can win the free exclusive skein that Susan of Desert Vista Dyeworks dyes for those who participate every single month of the year. I'm excited. It'd be great to finish off that challenge. I do have a couple extra DVD skeins in my stash, but I'm pretty ready to move on to a different project and to not be working on that like DVD project every single month of the year. It'll be great to be finished. I don't think I'll do it next year, but I'm proud of myself that I've made it this far. I have this yarn from Dying Wishes Yarn Co. that I mentioned, Sarah. I purchased this from her last year. It was part of her like autumnal, like fall in New York collection. I can't remember what it's called, but this is called Before the Fall. This one is called Brick. And this is just a natural undie skein that I bought off of her as well because I wanted the bases to be a sock DK weight base, which not a lot of dyers have. So I figured I would order one from her. It's 75-25 superwash merino and nylon blend. I thought it would be really fun to make a stocking for myself because I currently don't have a Christmas stocking. So will I finish? I don't know. But it'd be really awesome if I had a stocking, or at least got started on a stocking. Probably I'll do something along the lines of the Holiday Doodle stocking by Jamie Lomax of Pacific Knit Co. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what'll happen. Maybe I should buy myself a stocking in the meantime to make sure I have one. Next project that I would love to make is one that I planned on making last year, but I just knew I did not have the time for it. This is the Everett Pullover by Jessica Thomas, and I have plans to make it using Swish. This is a Knit Picks or We Crochet yarn. It's a worsted weight and it's so soft. Oh my goodness. It's 100% superwash merino, fine superwash merino wool. It's very soft. This is the color Garnet Heather. I love this color. I made like a really dark green sweater a couple of years ago for Christmas, so I wanted a dark red sweater. I did not get around to it last year. Hoping I can at least start it this year. It's this really pretty cabled pattern that just, it is not like a super tricky pattern, but definitely has cables throughout the body of it. I thought this would be really fun to make. I have all my yarn in a bag, ready to go, but I just need to cast on and get started because I think that that would be a really fun project. And just the feel of the yarn is so soft. I am a fan of Knit Picks or We Crochet Swish yarn. It's very nice to work with. Okay, the last pattern I have for the general things I want to make this time of year by the end of the year is the next Gnome Mystery Knit Along by Sarah Shira. This one is called Snow Matter What, and you are knitting Mr. Knightley. I love Emma. And I love Mr. Knightley. So maybe for my picture when I finish, I'll do something Jane Austen related. Who knows? But I just searched through my stash, read the pre-cal information so I could kind of pick the right colors. This is the color palette I came up with. Ta-da! These are all from my stash, and that's something I like about doing these gnome knit-alongs is I can use up some of these scraps that I have to make gnomes. I have 3 finished gnomes, and we're not going to talk about it, but I started the gnome advent last December, and I only knit the scarf. So that's in there in my like old whip and project bag pile. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to move on. Eventually we may get to that, but who knows when. This year I really want to participate and like do the daily clues, both for the knitting and for the cute little stories that go along with it. But looking at my stash, I don't even know what all of this is. Yeah, but this is going to be like white or the lightest color that they wanted me to have. They recommended one color. I think color 1 is the darkest of my grouping. This is going to be my color that's my favorite because it's got some like subtle variation. It's really pretty. And then they also said you'd be happiest if I think color 3 is an orange. And I'm like, I don't really have a ton of like orange yarn, especially not orange scraps or oranges that I really wanted to use. And we'll see how this one works. I'm a little bit nervous is not like the right word, but it's a light fingering weight yarn, so it's definitely thinner than my other yarns. So we'll have to see if I need to do anything special with making sure that it gets the gauge that I need. And I guess it depends on how I'm going to use this orange color. I really don't want to buy more yarn, but also want to have the yarn that I enjoy using. So we'll see. Maybe if it doesn't go to plan, I'll scrap this and I'll like try to pick up some more yarn from my local yarn store and grab just a random mini skein. Who knows? But this is my color palette altogether. So we are done with my section on general December projects. Now let's talk about Advent related projects. So I got a few Advents this year, more than I planned on. Like, not that I necessarily like capped myself, but I knew I didn't need a lot. I got 1 Advent last year. It was a mini skein Advent. It was really fun to open something every day, but I also had a hard time figuring out projects, and I made some socks, the 24 days socks, and I really enjoyed being able to do that. But now I have a lot of leftover yarn. It's like in that box right there, and I have an idea and I just haven't worked on it. I would love to make an Advent pattern, but that's for another day. Anyway, I didn't want to do a mini skein Advent this year. I wanted more substantial sizes of yarns so I could make something bigger and have more control over what I make rather than being condensed into like a mini skein related project, if that makes sense. I thought it might be more usable, or I could have a little bit more variety in my projects. So I didn't get any mini skein, but I did get some yarn Advents. Let's see. First one, and again, this is spoiler free. I got Freckle Whimsies skein. What did I even choose? I don't remember. It was so long ago. I got, the DK base, so it'll be fast. They're 24 stripes, and they said you don't have to start in a specific spot. You don't have to start in a specific spot, so we'll see how it goes. They split the skeins for me. I did pay for that feature. I thought it would be really nice so that they match. And then there's a 50 gram mini, so I can do like heels, toes, and cuffs. All of them for this yarn. I'm excited, especially for DK weight yarn. I feel like I always run out. My DK weight yarn for socks doesn't go as far. I can't make like as tall of a sock. Or for the mini, I can't do heels, toes, and cuffs ever if I only have a 20 gram DK mini. So 50 gram, we'll see how it goes. I'm excited about this. I bought not yarn, but I bought a bag from my friend Ashley of Goose and Ghost Knits. That's to be opened on Christmas Eve, which should be really fun. I have A Very Bookish Christmas by Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co. And these are all full skeins. I think there's 4. Yes, it looks like 4 full skeins of yarn. I think I want to make the Grove Light Shawl by Sarah Opie of S Knits because it calls for 4 skeins of yarn. Though, I'm not sure if I will just like start knitting and then see what happens because I'm not exactly sure how these yarns work together. So I might open a couple skeins, wait and see maybe once I open all the skeins, then I'll decide on a project to make sure, or decide on the order that I want the yarn to be in. I'm not quite sure. And this one is the In the Stacks New Year's Calendar, a Sunday Advent, also by Teeny Button Studio. So the one by Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co. is open one every Sunday. This one is also open one every Sunday, though I might switch it up and like open one every Wednesday, just so I'm not opening a ton on Sunday and then nothing throughout the week, because I like presents to myself. But this one, oh, there's a couple treats in here, like the scarf and whatnot. There's one full skein and there's 4 small skeins, and I'm going to make the Stella quilt cushion, I think. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the full skein as like the background or like exactly how I'm going to do it, but I think I want the 50-gram skeins as different spikes of the quilted pattern. I think that would be really fun and a really good use of 50-gram skeins. So I'm excited about that one. I'm making a lot of really interesting projects that I don't typically do. I don't make a cushion. I don't make that many shawls. And I have a blanket in mind. Woolworth Fiber Co.'s Book Society box. And I did already open it. This is the project that I've already started working on. And I'm going to turn everything black and white so you're not spoiled on the colors. But for this box, there are 4 full skeins of yarn, couple goodies, and then a book that's a mystery. And as you read the book, you'll get to certain page numbers, like page 10, page 101, etc. And on that page, you can open the skein of yarn associated with that page, and it's like inspired by what's happening on the page at the moment, which is really a cool idea. And I had a lot of fun reading this book. Here are the blanket squares I already made. Ta-da! There's some variety in the colors. I have a lot of ends to weave in, but you'll see I kind of alternated what colors go where so I can have a good mix so it can look kind of scrappy but also cohesive. I wanted to include all 4 colors from this box within the same granny square, and then when I do other boxes throughout the year, I am purchasing all 4 boxes for all 4 seasons. I will do different seasonal squares. I mean, they're going to be the same pattern, I think, but they'll have all 4 colors from that specific season's box together. And then I'll mix them all together into a blanket. My plan is to make the Aster blanket by Mallory Crawl, and I'm really excited about it. I have not crocheted in a long time. I just have really enjoyed learning how to knit and expanding my skills, and there's a lot of products I want to make in the knitting world, and they fit my aesthetic and the things that I enjoy, and so I've been working a lot on knitting. But it's fun to crochet, and I'm really excited to work on this, and I really like how they're turning out so far, other than the ends. But this should be really fun. After I do all of the squares, I'm going to join them all together. So I'll probably buy something from Knit Picks or We Crochet as like a nice neutral to have in between all of these squares. But my goal is to work on this, just kind of use up my yarn that I have, weave in ends. I have until I think February is when the next box ships, like the spring box. So I have a while to work on this. I don't need to finish this by the end of the year, but I'll probably spend some time making a few more squares because it's been fun. That is 15 projects or plans that I have for things I want to make in this next month. There's quite the variety, and I don't think I'll finish it all. And it's kind of hard to prioritize what I want to do because I have a lot of fun ideas that I'm excited about. But let me know down below what you think I should work on first and what I should prioritize in this whole list of really fun projects to work on, hopefully finish some of them so that I can have some new cast-ons for the new year. Thank you so much for joining me as I share with you all of these projects and hopefully give you some ideas on things that you may want to work on at the end of this year. Until next time, happy making. Bye!